What is up, everyone? I'm Marco and we are back with the next video in our Java tutorial series. So before we get started, I just wanted to show you guys what I'm going to be teaching you guys out of, which is this guy right here, Big Java Early Objects by K. Hortzman. Pretty big book, so you guys can see like something like 1,000 pages. But we're just going to be doing a few lessons here out of that based off that book. So yeah, let me go back to my screen. All right, perfect. So here we are. We're leaving off, moving forward from last time we were here, where we did our hello printer, as you can see. Again, nothing's changed, so I'm just gonna go ahead and close that guy, and we're back to our main IDE page. So we're gonna do a new project, and today we're going to be writing a tip calculator. So if you want, you can name your project that tip calculator. This is what it should look like for you as well. So we open it, and here we are. So let's close the old one. Let's close this too. And here we are. So what we're gonna do is we're going to create a new class, and of course we're gonna call the class tip calculator. So remember that class names have to be capitalized when you create a class. If you do lowercase, oh, it'll let you. But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna delete that. There we go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna delete everything inside right here, as we did with our last one. And here in the class description, I'm gonna put our problem statement. So you can go ahead and copy that as well if you like. But we're just gonna read off it and we're just gonna code our program. So I'll read it off to you guys. So write an application tip calculator. Create a scanner object and do the following. Ask the user to enter their name. Use scanner's next line method to get the name. Ask the user to enter the cost of their bill, and then basically get the double, which is the cost of their bill. And then you ask the user for their rating to rate the service. And we're gonna, with that information, we're gonna calculate the cost of their tip. Perfect. So again, like last time, since we're not working with classes fully yet, we're just going to do void main. So it's public static void main string array args. And again, this is just that's just fancy wording for what happens when we actually run the program. Okay, perfect. So the first things we're gonna do is we're going to decide on the tips, because we have 0 for 2, 3, so that's 0, 1, 2, 3. That's 4 different tips that we need, and we're going to use a new variable this time. As you recall, we have variable names are int, double, long, float, character. There's lots of names, etc. But we're going to be using doubles and strings today. So we're going to declare 4 doubles. So it's going to be double good tip, which is equal to 0.25. And we're going to close that line there. So that's going to be a good tip, which means the service was good, and we're going to be charging customers we're going to be giving a 25% tip on your bill. And then we have double alright tip, which is equal to 20%. And we're just going to keep going down. Double fair tip is equal to 0.1. And lastly, double bad tip is equal to, just for fun, we're just going to make it 0. There we go. Okay, so we have our 4 tips, and now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the system's scanner. So to use the scanner, we actually need to import it first. So go ahead and go to your top line over here and type import java.util.scanner. Close that line there, and what that's going to do is that's going to bring the scanner in to our class so we can use it however we please. Okay, so now that we have the scanner, we can actually create the object once we run our code. So the syntax for that is scanner and then the variable name. So scan is equal to new scanner, because we're going to create a new scanner object. System.in. Okay. And now we have a scanner that we can call using scan. So when we say scan dot do something, the scanner will do something, and we're going to see that in a second. So we're going to prompt the user. Again, going back to what we need to write, we're going to create a scanner object. So we did that. Now we're going to ask the user to enter their name. So what we can do is system dot out, because we're going to output something, dot print, and we're going to ask what is your name. Close that. Again, we're writing that's a string argument inside there. Now that we have the question, we can get the name once the user enters it, as you will see. So it's going to be string name is equal to scan, because we have our scanner object over here. Scan dot next line, and that's going to get the next line once the user types it into the prompt, as you will see. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next part of our problem. We're going to ask the user to enter the cost of their bill. So that's simply, again, we're going to do system.out.print, and just for fancy purposes, we can do name plus, because when you add 2 strings together, as in here, what happens is the strings just get added together, and it makes one big long string that you can see. So name plus what is the cost of your bill, and then we can close that, and what that's going to do is going to print out the name, and then what is the cost of your bill. To make it look better when we actually do the problem is we can do comma. That way when it comes out, the grammar will be correct. Now we're going to capture now the cost of the bill, and we're going to be using doubles, because integers, we don't want to use integers because that's a whole number. Doubles is Java's variable to capture pretty much almost any type of number. So we're going to say double cost, right, is equal to scan, to call the scanner, dot next double. And then since it's when we call a method, which is to do something, you need the parentheses. You see when it's an anyone, it has parentheses, but sometimes it has an argument. We don't need an argument here, so we can just close that off. Okay, so now we have the double, and now we're gonna ask, let's see, so now we are all the way, we got that guy, enter the cost of the bill, use next double method to get the double. We're gonna ask the user to enter an integer from 0 to 3 to rate the service. So let's do that. System.out.print. Actually, let's do print line instead of print. Okay. So it's gonna be, what was the quality of service (0 is poor and 3 is great. Put in the quotes, parentheses to close the method, and then close the line of code. Okay. And now we need to capture the rating to get the integer. So again, this is different from a double because it's going to be either 0, 1, 2, 3, not 0 0.1, 0.2, anything like that. So int rating is equal to scan dot next int. And you got to remember to capitalize the I because camel casing matters. Okay. Now we're going to do this new thing with logic to actually pretty much give us the cost of our tip. So we're going to do if rating is 3, then we're going to system dot out dot print line or no, print f, and now it's going to be the tip should be and it's going to be this special character right here, so it's going to be $signs because we are working with dollars. We got this guy, that guy. Now we have plus because we're going to be adding two parts of a string together, and now we're going to need let's see, cost plus, or no, cost times good tip. And then we can close that and then close that. Oh, wrong order. Sorry about that. Let's see. I don't think I need that actually. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So that's what happens when we have our rating of 3, which is the highest rating. So we basically just multiply the cost by the good tip. And so now we can just copy and paste this a few times because the lines of code are going to be mainly the same. So I think we need 4. So we can do that. And if you have lots of ifs chained together like that, what you should be doing is you should do else. I don't know what's up with my typing today. Else if, and then lastly, once you're done with the chain, it's else. And we don't need an argument for that one. And you guys will see in a second. So we have a rating equals 3, then we have our rating equals 2, then 1, and then else is just rating is going to equal 0. So the only thing that changes here is the actual, this part of our tip, because for rating equals 2, it's going to be alright tip. Alright tip, and then it's fair tip, and then lastly it's bad tip. Okay. So I think we are actually ready to run this and see how it works. So we can go ahead and close this for now. We can compile our code. Oh, let's see, variable bad, oh, over here. Yeah, you'll get errors sometimes. It's going to happen a lot more than what's happening in this video. You guys will see. Okay, so I think now we can compile. Perfect. So now remember again, to run something from void main, we go to our class here and we right click it and then we do void main. Okay. So what is your name? This command, this prompt will open up right here and it's asking for our name. So let's do, I'll do one of my friends and I'll do Tito. Tito, what is the cost of your bill? So let's say he just went out to dinner with some chick. He got a nice dinner and it was $100 total bill. And what was the quality of service? 0 is poor and 3 is great. $100 bills is like a 5-star restaurant, so I'm saying it's gonna be pretty good service. So we'll do 3, and so the tip should be $25. So that's pretty much it. The tip was a good tip, which was 0.25. The cost was 100. The logic checks out. You guys can play around with whatever name, whatever tip you guys want. Again, it's a tip calculator, works pretty much anything. But one thing I want you guys to notice, once it starts over here, I can just let's see, I can just close. Let's see. Oh shit, I can't close it. There we go. Let me clear the. I think I did clear it already. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Okay. What is your name? Let's do Tito. What is the cost of your bill? 300. One thing you can do is, what happens if you put, let's say the user messes up and he puts 4. The tip should be 0. It goes to the else, what's it called? You need to put in conditions at this point, some extra logic, or else people will input other numbers or something that maybe they'll type in a string or something, and it'll just mess up the code. So what we're going to be doing next video is we're going to be changing up this code right here, and to basically to check to make sure that the input is correct before we actually move forward. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we basically did this whole prompt right here. We wrote a little tip scanner. Hopefully it was informative. Hopefully you guys had a lot of fun. Once again, meet your new developer, and we'll see you next time for our video.